From the home of the three-piece combos pugilism company, this is Reed BBS, Black Birch Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Terence Bud Crawford did what Terence Bud Crawford does in defense of his WBO welterweight title and status as one of the absolute best fighters pound for pound in the world. Over 13,000 asses-filled seats in TC's hometown of Omaha, Nebraska, up to and including the homie Warren Buffett. Crawford improves his record to 34-0, 25 knockouts via a 12th round stoppage over the brave, the game, and ultra-competitive Jose Benavidez Jr., who loses for the first time. Benavidez was about it. He talked it before the fight, and he walked it on fight night. Again, this beef was real. Like, these dudes have real contempt for each other. This was no manufactured beef, no contaminated staged meat or faux meat products. Not in this one, no. This was real USDA grade A beef. And these two fought like they didn't like each other. And after the fight, there was no reconciliation. There was no handshaking, no hugs, no good fight, no pats on the backs, no attaboys. Nathan. Benavidez was taller, he was bigger, he was thicker, he was longer than Bud, and he was stalking him early. Bud actually started the fight orthodox, but by about the middle of the very first round, he switched to Southpaw and worked from that stance pretty much the rest of the fight. Didn't recall too much more switching, if any, after the middle of the first. There was a lot of fencing, a lot of jousting between them, establishing their jabs. Bud's southpaw jab versus Benavidez's orthodox jab. Benavidez's length was for sure an issue early, and he was not overwhelmed by the moment or the opponent. He was in it to win it. As Bud is known to do, though, he adjusted. So initially he was firing single jabs, which Benavidez looked to counter and did counter, probably more than Crawford expected or anticipated. So Bo Mack had Crawford double his jab. And when he did that, when he doubled the jab instead of singling it, when he doubled it, Benavidez shelled up behind a high winky right type guard whenever Crawford doubled it. Like, he didn't answer back. He would just wait for Crawford to stop throwing before he would again establish his offense. So this enabled Bud to get to Benavidez and bang that body up some. And eventually later in the fight, beyond just doubling jabs, Bud would start flurrying on Benavidez, and the same thing. He would just go into the winky right guard, let Bud get off, and then Bud would disengage. It was really Bud's fight by the fourth round, though Benavidez, he remained a threat throughout. He had a brace on his right knee, the knee that was shot, and his movement seemed to dip a bit as the bout progressed. The TV broadcast made a big deal of it. Benavidez tried not to make excuses afterwards, but did say that around the 9th, it started to hurt him. I don't know how much of a factor it would have been. I don't think he would have beaten Bud Crawford regardless. The thing about it is, Crawford could have coasted to a dull decision, playing it safe, but he wanted the finish, and he got it with a beautiful right uppercut counter, which dropped Benavidez like a load of laundry, like a bad habit on his side. And he got up, but it was academic from there, man. 2 more smacking right hooks left Benavidez helpless against the ropes. It was a wrap. I can't throw shade at the performance at all, but afterwards, man, Bud, he wouldn't specify who he wanted next, only saying, "I want them all." It was a tad disappointing. At this point, we know who's who. We know what the big fight in the division is. Just name names. Bo Mack was talking to Errol Spence during conference calls and all during the fight week. Bob Arum talked to Errol Spence during the fight week. So just go ahead and speak it into existence, TC. You know, no one's scared here. I ain't even insinuating that. Neither man is scared of the other. They'll fight each other if and when it happens, but just speak it into existence. That's all I'm asking. We as fight fans, we want to at least see the effort being made. Speak it into existence. Don't be vague. Be specific. If you want that fight, if you really want that fight, If Bomac is serious about pressuring Todd DeBuff and Top Rank into making this fight happen, then after you just shined on national TV in front of your people, speak it into existence. That's all I'm saying. But aside from that, man, another top-flight performance against a live opponent for Terence Bud Crawford. Top 2 in the world at worst, no matter how you slice it. From the home of the three-piece combos, Pugilism Company, this is Reed, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.